Hello everyone, Gary here from FYPC, my channel about my experience with prostate cancer, trying to demystify the disease for anyone who might be suffering from it, or also someone who might be caring for someone who's going through the disease, or anyone who just wants to be a good mate to someone who's got the disease. So slightly more informal this morning, just back from the gym, and while I was at the gym I was starting to think about the emotions associated with prostate cancer. And I wanted to share some ideas with you about what you might experience if you're anything like me, and what other people might say to you. So the first thing that I think I would describe was that very first conversation with the doctor, when he said to me, the blood tests have come back and your PSA level is 10 and it ought to be 3. So at that point I was 58 years old, in pretty good shape, feeling invincible, feeling immortal. And just imagining, I'd never had a serious illness in my life, and I was just, getting ready, thinking about retirement, what was going to happen. Then suddenly, this real feeling of unease to begin with. Right, something isn't quite right here, and I need to think about what's going on. And then the subsequent examinations and the subsequent biopsies, that sense that they were convinced themselves that there was something there, but we hadn't proved it yet, started to get a large dose of fear, because men die from prostate cancer at a very high rate in the UK, and when you don't know how serious it is, it's right to be frightened about what the outcome might be. And that's certainly how I felt during those early investigations. And I remembered the moment when she said, look, after the third biopsy we've found some cancer. It's Gleason 3+4. Have a look elsewhere on the channel if you want to know what that means in terms of severity. So not immediately life-threatening, still contained within the prostate, but now the fear really ramps up because there's a lot of uncertainty and a lot of choices ahead. So at this point I was thinking, what does that mean for me personally? What does that mean for my wife? What does that mean for my children? What does that mean for my business, my work, my retirement? The one thing I would say here is just be careful not to allow people to hijack your emotions, right? Because I've been telling my family all the way along, I'm going for this test, I'm going for that test, this result doesn't look right, there's something there, we're thinking about, we're looking for, trying to prove what's there. And nobody in my family did this, but there were others who, very well-meaning people who said, well, Uncle Steve's had prostate cancer for 20 years and, he's still fine. And that's well-meaning and well-intentioned, but it's them attempting to hijack your emotions, right? You're not Uncle Steve. I'm not Uncle Steve. And I don't care what happened to Uncle Steve, really, because now I'm really focused on the fear and the slight shock that I've got from learning that I've got cancer. And I want to think about my own emotions. I want to think about how frightened I am about what is the surgery potentially going to do? What is the radiotherapy going to do? Is it still contained within the prostate? What if it spreads between now and whenever the treatment happens? What happens after the treatment? What happens to me as a man when they start cutting big pieces out of me that, or irradiating big pieces of me that, are going to have a life-changing effect? So these people who are very keen to tell you that Uncle Steve has had it for 20 years and he's fine, don't let them hijack your emotions, and don't let them invalidate your emotions, right? Everything you're thinking about, everything I was thinking about for my future and my retirement and my wife and my kids and my family and everything else, they're valid emotions. So a bit of anger, a bit of shock, maybe a little bit of denial at some point about, this can't, why is this happening to me? It can't really be happening to me. You might go through all of those things. And as it comes towards the point where you're going to have treatment, where I am now, I'm a few weeks away from starting radiotherapy, the fear will return because now you're into the life-changing part of it. So maybe you're fortunate, like I consider myself to be, and this is not going to be, on the face of it, a life-threatening disease for me, but it's going to be life-changing. And the people around you might not know that. They might not understand that. They might even not know what a prostate is. and they might not know what it does, and they might not know what it's responsible for, and they might not understand just how life-changing prostate cancer treatment can be. How much less of a man you might feel afterwards when the treatment has this effect on you. So just be aware that you'll get the full range of emotions, and you mustn't allow anybody to invalidate those emotions. There'll be good days and there'll be bad days, and you might be quite stoic like I am. You might force yourself to be very positive like I try to do, and you might be thinking about great outcomes, and I would recommend all of those approaches. But the emotions will be strong, the emotions will be visceral sometimes, and when there are bad days, allow yourself to have those bad days, and then come back, doing everything you can in your control to make the prostate cancer journey easier. So yeah, that's what happens when I go to the gym and have these thoughts as I'm going through my weight training and strength training to try and make my journey easier. I hope that was useful. You're going to see and feel lots of emotions, and go with them, acknowledge them, and come out as strong as you can. Thanks for watching FYPC. Have a look around the channel. Do subscribe, please, and help me to spread the word. I want to make this disease as demystified as possible for as many people. And I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.